everyone, I'm Rhiannon. I hope you enjoy the 23rd episode of This Is Not a Podcast. I guess I should say something about me in this intro. So I like cats. I've got a cat. She is nowhere to be found at the moment. I have known Novi since 2014 and we still talk a lot to this day. I had to scroll quite a bit to find the examples for what I meant to say in this part, and I still don't know what I need to say. So you know what? I'm just winging it. But anyway, enjoy.
This is one of my all-time favorite episodes. That's because Bebbel is one of my best friends. I had so much fun while recording this, and I got to relive it again when I edited this episode, and you'll see some of it when you watch it. None of it was scripted. This is how we are every time we talk. And I think it has something to do with how similar Bebbel and I are to each other. We are so similar that we can practically finish each other's sentences. You don't believe me? Here's the proof. New phone!
Who is? Why are you doing
This is like the most impromptu episode I've ever shot. Because
it's really dark here, so I'm like using my torch from my phone to like lighten me up a bit because it's like
wow, cinematic ambience.
I don't see you anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, turn on
I
camera.
just see.
Okay, sorry. Oh, I look dumb with this.
It's fine. Oh, you can see my finger in the background.
Can you see this?
Oh, I should be wearing mine. I'm gonna find mine and wear mine.
Mic check.
Novi, please, this is not a podcast.
I want to get train from Moscow to Vladivostok.
This is not a podcast.
Wait, it's not? Yeah, I can only... You can't say it. Yeah, mine either. You it's okay. Yeah. Yes. But yours has a name on the back. Mine doesn't. Alright, let's begin.
There you go. Say the League of.
The League of, yeah. Mine...
Eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is the 23rd episode of
God.
This Not a Podcast. And your birthday is coming up since this is September. And looking back at the coronavirus situation that we had in March and April and how things have gone from there, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm just glad that it's over with. I'm glad to go and see family again and celebrate life. Oh, it was really sad, but we're happy.
Yeah. I mean, it became worse before it got better, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, May, do you remember May?
Oh, May was horrible.
Yeah.
But look, we tried starting schools too early and then it just came back 10 times worse. So May was just, yeah. But June and July got way better.
Yeah. I'm glad things worked out. I mean, it's much better now than, All right. So if you remember in April earlier this year, we celebrated, we marked 6 years of L42. And and since we are, and since we are the one of the OG L42ers, I wanted to say that also marks 6 years of us knowing each other.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's pretty much in the next 2 days, I think, is when I technically joined. It was late April. Back in April this year, It was 6 years. Oh, man. I don't have access to the owlery anymore, but I'm pretty sure it was around the 26th or the 27th of April that I reached out to you or you reached out to me. And yeah.
We probably talked in the Great Hall chat first because,
we definitely did.
Of course.
I remember you and Taylor, and I think there was like one other person in the Great Hall, and I was like, yes, I want to join.
I think the both of us have worked the most in bringing on this dorm and bringing this group of people together. I remember we have spent hours on the spreadsheet and basically all of that, and you used to use your expertise on the GIMP software to make these amazing drawings and pictures and photo editing and all that stuff. And somehow, okay, and we also used to Skype back then. When
We did.
when we simultaneously worked on dorm stuff. And sometimes, or maybe that was only once, we finally decided to actually do our homework assignments, and that was the day that
I'm pretty sure I had already done most of my classes.
Okay.
And I hadn't started potions or transfiguration, and you had no.
no,
So
I had
we were
0. I
going-
was on 0 points. Yes.
So I had convinced you to do one of those classes with me, and I think it
Yes.
must have been
That was
transfiguration.
literally my first assignment that I was about to submit, and we figured out that there was no assignment at all, and
No,
there
there
wasn't
was no
even a
lesson.
lesson anymore.
And we were like, "What?" And all the Americans
Yeah.
were sleeping, and we were like, "What's going on?"
I forgot that we didn't do an introduction.
Oh,
Yeah, so today we are going to talk. I'll just go put this in. Yeah, I'll edit it later. Yeah, we are going to speak with Rhiannon.
hello, I'm Rhiannon.
Yes.
Good day.
do you also have to say mate, because that's like the stereotype Aussie speak.
Good day, mate. How are you going?
I'm fine, mate. Okay, I'm very bad at it. Okay, since we have established that you are basically the female, younger Aussie version of me. So this is
Yes.
more like talking to the mirror. And that is why today I have no pointers, no script, no questions.
Fair
So,
enough.
and I'm looking forward to it, actually.
I'm glad, because you know what? I don't know what we're going to talk about either.
You weren't able to join us on our anniversary celebration chat back in April. So I'm just going to keep with it. We have to maintain, there has to be continuity.
Okay. Yes,
So,
I was working that day. I think I started at 6:30. I can't quite remember it because it was a few months ago, but
Yeah.
I wasn't available.
Okay. Yeah, even I mean, it's been many months and we've been through a lot since then. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think one of the topics that we discussed that day was our earliest memories of Harry Potter. So let's briefly talk about that, because that's basically one of the common interests that we share, and that's actually how we came to know each other. So do you remember what book you read first, or how you got access to that book, or did you watch the movie? What was it?
So the first movie came out in 2001 when I was 5 or 6. So
You were
I-
5 because 2000 it came out in the summer in
Yeah,
the northern
so-
hemisphere. I need to add that as well.
Yeah, so so I was 5 and I went with my dad and my younger sister, and I loved it. I was obsessed. I watched the second movie when it came out in the cinemas, and I watched the third movie when it came out in the cinemas.
Okay.
When the fourth one was being developed, that's when I was old enough to actually read the books.
Okay.
So I started from book 4,
Wow.
and I went
Yet
4, 5,
another-
6, 7,
Okay.
and then 1, 2, 3.
Okay, that's a good order. That's better than mine,
Not
but
super out.
that's still better than mine. I remember. Okay, I also watched the first movie before I had read the fourth book by then, but then I was 11, at the time, and I had not. Okay, I watched movies like Jurassic Park and in other movies before, but I was very bad at picking up accents, and I understood nothing of what was going on. And my sister was the one who was more obsessed with Harry Potter, and probably still is to this day. And she was the one who dragged me into this, and we went. And I remember throughout the movie, the only things I picked up on was McGonagall saying "follow me" a couple of times, and that was the only thing I kept making fun of my sister for. I would when we went back home, I was like, "Harry Potter, follow me," because she says "follow me" first when they're outside in the outside the Great Hall. The bunch of students, she says to the first years, "Follow me," and then later on during remember the incident with the Remember All, and she comes down and she says, "Follow me." So it's like this lady only keeps saying "follow me" throughout the movie.
We're ready for you now. Follow me. Harry Potter, follow me.
And the other memory I have is while reading the fourth book, because that was the first book I read. It does not mention because I didn't know the backstory, right? Throughout the book, they mention Sirius Black. Not even Black. They just mention Sirius.
Yeah.
And I don't know who Sirius is because it's not explained in the book. And on the train, Ron says you need to write talk about this dream with Sirius. And even later during the Triwizard tournament, and he's not talking with Ron, and Sirius arranges this.
Appears in the fire.
In the fire. Yeah, exactly. So I was reading this. I was very curious to know who Sirius is. And I couldn't wait until I read the third book to find out who this guy was. So that is what I remember. So prior to HIH, did you prior to HIH, did you spend any other time? Did you spend time on Harry Potter forums, or was that okay? Yeah, of course. I now I know, since you shared your My Hogwarts screenshots with us back in April.
So back in 2011, I came across My Hogwarts, and it was still being made.
Okay.
So
were there any other sites similar to that, or was My Hogwarts always the?
I think My Hogwarts is pretty much it.
And even that was developed by Keith Carden.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like the pioneer for Harry Potter websites. Okay.
I think there might be other places that I've talked about, like Facebook groups or something, but it was the first kind of website that I found.
Okay.
Not that I really participated in it because it never really went anywhere.
Okay. So, but there was a site, right?
It was, yeah.
How was it like? I've never seen how it looked or what it was about.
It was quite dark, like colors scheme wise, kind of like if you go on the Hogwarts is Here website now, before logging in, and that sort of dark color. But it stayed dark when you like click on the different tabs, where Hogwarts is Here is very bright.
Okay. Could you take courses? Yeah.
I think there was forum. I never took the courses because I don't think I got into the program, because there was like a beta thing. And I remember I've got an email saying that I was accepted into beta, but I don't think I ever went further than making my profile. So there probably was courses.
What about Pottermore though? Pottermore had, before this relaunch, Pottermore was weird. I remember. I could never figure it out.
Pottermore, I was around the same time as My Hogwarts, which I think is how I found My Hogwarts.
Okay.
Because it had the whole beta program as well, and you had to find the letters on Google Maps or something like that, and I could never do it. And then they opened it up for everyone, and I think that was around 2012, if I remember correctly. And I got sorted into Hufflepuff, so I kind of like stopped Pottermore straight away.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Because then I did it again and I got Slytherin, and I was like, I'm still not happy with that. So
yeah, I used to be a Slytherin as well on Pottermore, and even I wasn't happy.
So it was like a few years later, and I found Hogwarts is Here.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I want.
Yes. Yeah, there were chats and stuff, and that was, I think, the selling point of HIH, because I think no other Harry Potter forum could offer something like that, where you could talk to other Harry Potter fans in real time and actually interact with them instead of... Okay, now that HIH got its second wind back in April, suddenly there were people taking courses. There was the race for the House Cup and all that. So Did you take any more courses and did you do assignments again?
So I'm kind of blanking on if I have done anything in the past couple months, but
Okay.
definitely back in March and April, I redid History of Magic because I became a PA.
Yeah.
And then I started doing DADA, Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Okay.
But I don't think I got the PA. I just can't remember. I'm just mind blanking.
Okay. Till what year did you reach on HIH?
Second year.
Okay, enough about HIH and Harry Potter and Hogwarts and stuff. Tell us briefly about what your academical qualification is, or at least what your formal training has been that has led to your current profession.
Yeah, definitely. So I have always wanted to work with children, and I wanted to be a teacher when I was younger.
Okay.
But back in year 7, which was when I was a kid, the last year of primary school before high school, we were told kind of what we needed to do. And I was told I had to do 4 years of uni, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So throughout high school, I did childcare and a certificate which let me go into childcare. So instead of teaching in a school, I went into early childhood. And then only a few years ago, after completing my diploma, we had a uni-trained teacher come and work at our centre, and it made me kind of go, oh my God, I can actually do this. So I applied. For Aussies that might be watching this, I don't have an ATAR. I went through work experience and I got into my uni because of having work experience in childcare, which I think has actually honestly helped me so much, and I would consider saying that to anyone that wants to do a similar profession to me before going into uni. Maybe do some work experience, because I find that I'm doing well on my assignments because I actually know the content from having that prior experience compared to some friends that don't have that experience. So I'm in my second year at the moment, and it's been going well so far with everything going on in the world the last few months. It's kind of upsetting things a little bit, but I should still be on track for a 2022 graduation. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I've been at.
So what I picked up from what you said is this is basically what you always wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's really amazing, because I come from a family of teachers, and I've been always told, because both my grandfathers were teachers, and primary school and high school teachers. My aunts and uncles have been teachers as well. We have been told, and growing up, that teaching is a really noble job. At least in our family, we put it as on the par as doctors, because teachers actually, they mold the next generation. Right, they mold not just, throughout their career, they mold more than one generation. And at the age of kids that you teach, especially, they are extremely impressionable. So the role that you play, it makes a lot of difference in their lives. Because if I look back at my kindergarten and primary school teachers, what they taught me has made me what I am, even though I don't think I went back and told them that I should do that someday. But really, in the way of social interactions, manners, being kind and stuff like that, because we never give them the credit. I think most of us, even society, does not give the teachers the credit that they deserve, I feel. So I just wanted to. Now, I got this opportunity to finally say it, because I don't think I've ever said it out. Since you are actually doing that, so I thought I should say it.
Thank you on behalf of all.
Have you ever thought of what would you have done or what would you have been doing in an alternate scenario with an alternate career?
I mean, it's changed over the years. When I was younger, and I've always said this, I have always wanted to be a teacher, but also when I was younger, I had another job profession that I really wanted to do, and that was be a volcanologist, which is a person who studies volcanoes.
Okay, that's very specific.
I know. But over the years, I realized that I'm just not really as good at science as I thought I was. So that kind of, I mean, I'm interested in volcanoes, but I definitely wouldn't take that route. As I've kind of grown up, there's been acting. I tried acting. I tried submitting an audition for As the Bell Rings or something. I don't know, the Aussie version of it. And yeah, that didn't really go anywhere. And then I've been trying to dabble in YouTube, but it's just not working.
Yeah, you don't try hard enough.
Yeah,
no. Okay, what other hobbies are you pursuing right now?
I'm doing a lot of drawing lately. I mean, I've been doing a lot of drawing back in April to help with anxiety over COVID-19. I've got them actually right next to me.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them, and they're really good.
Some of them are really bad. Especially, I've found some older ones where I was drawing them around the time when I started Hogwarts is here, and they're really bad. So I've been doing that.
I'm really impressed with your coloring skills, though. I think they're a lot better than mine, because there's a reason when I sketch I don't color. Nice. I like that. Okay. Who's Tommy?
Thanks. From Rugrats. It's like an old cartoon.
I see. Okay, I didn't know.
Like really old.
How old? I'm older than you.
But I remember I used to collect because when getting the newspaper when I was a kid, every week there would be some sort of collectible, and they did a whole run on the Rugrats all around the world. And I used to have stacks of booklets where they would show each country. So I remember my favorite one was the Japan one. So nice. Yeah, sorry, we're kind of like going off of what we originally were talking about.
This is actually what I wanted. You are someone who I know is one of the most passionate Disney followers. I don't know what it's called, fans or what, because your knowledge and passion for Disney movies and characters it's
Nickelodeon though.
Okay.
These are all Disney ones. I don't know.
That's Ariel, Nemo. Or I don't know who that is.
No one knows her. She is my favorite Disney princess, but she's not an official Disney princess. Kita from Atlantis.
Let's continue on about Disney for a while.
Okay.
You grew up watching Disney stuff.
Yeah.
And you were born in the year of the Lion King.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
No?
A year after.
A year? Oh.
Yeah, I was born. I'm younger than the Lion King.
Oh yes. You're younger than the Lion King.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh man.
Do you remember the first movie you watched?
I think the first movie I watched in the cinemas was a Wiggles movie. The Wiggles movie. Because I definitely remember my older sister taking me, and my older sister was like 11 at the time, and she used me as an excuse to go and watch the movie because I loved Wiggles being a little kid, and she was 11 years old, so she was getting through that phase of, oh, no.
My first movie was the Jurassic Park.
Oh, God. They still haunt me.
and it was before you were born. The only thing I remember from my first viewing of Jurassic Park is, of course, being in the movie hall and the T-Rex roar. Probably also that's one scene of the raptors in the kitchen, because that's scary.
I think I watched the second one because that one's the Lost World, isn't it? The second one.
Yeah.
And I just remember them being like behind a waterfall and the dinosaur. Is
Okay.
this the right movie?
Oh yeah, the snake that goes into a guy's shirt and he screams and he runs directly into the T-Rex mouth.
Yeah, because he went out of the waterfall.
Waterfall,
or something.
exactly. Yeah, he
I
freaks
just remember
out.
that. It scared me, and I remember because there was also like a girl on the beach. I think it was like at the start of the movie, where she's on the beach and the little dinosaurs were coming out.
Yeah.
So I was just like freaking out about it.
I remember that scene as well. Okay, so what kind of movies do you like watching?
Fantasy.
Okay, we have established that you are a big fan of Disney and stuff, but other than
Disney.
Disney.
Musicals.
Okay.
I don't really. I mean, I've been kind of watching TV shows lately that are just fantasy. The same TV show over and over again.
Which one?
Vampire Diaries.
Oh yeah, okay. TVD.
Yeah, TVD. I'm currently watching the spin-off series to that, which is called The Originals. And the episode that I just paused on, Stefan Salvatore.
I like how the spin-off series is called The
Diaries.
Original.
Oh, I've been really looking forward to this character appearing, and I knew he was appearing soon. And for the last few episodes, I've been like, he's going to be on any second. And then as the new episode started, before I paused it to do this, I saw him pop up, and I was like, oh my God, it's the episode.
So, TV shows, sketching, and drawing and coloring. What else? What other hobbies?
I like gaming.
Oh, okay, yeah. What kind of games do you like?
I was obsessed with this one game recently that actually, well, when I say recently, like all of last year and the year before, called Raft, which you start on a 2x2 raft and you're just going across the ocean and you're collecting plastic and wood and leaves and other bits to make your raft bigger. And when I first started, the end game was getting to a tower, a radio tower, and that was pretty much it. And you just keep finding radio towers. Now they've got a lot more in the game, and they're still doing it. Like, it's still in early access, but they're adding more and more things to it. And it's actually kind of funny because on the Discord, a lot of people are like, oh, why would you buy the game for this much money? It's not worth it. And I'm like, well, I actually bought it for this much money back when there was barely anything. And what they've got now is definitely worth it compared to what I bought it for. So there's that game. I nearly have 500 hours on that game. Growing up, I was very much Sims, everything. I started on Sims, the original, so deluxe edition. Then Sims 2, I was obsessed with Sims 2. Then Sims 3, and I'm not really that much into Sims 4, but just kind of play it because, I mean, it's the latest one.
Do you think you've outgrown it, or is the Sims 4 that bad?
I think it's a step
both.
down. It's a step down, but I am finding like I'm playing a lot of multiplayer games with friends at the moment. So I'm definitely liking the multiplayer experience more. So that's something that if Sims 5 had, I would definitely probably play it a lot more because I am enjoying multiplayer games.
I see. Okay.
I'm doing Minecraft at the moment with a lot of friends on a server. So we're making our own little village. Well, not really little anymore because in the last 2 weeks it's gone quite big and there's a massive bridge now, but we're doing community work together and making stuff, and it's been nice. And even though they're all Americans, so it's really hard to actually be online at the same time. But the good thing about this one is I can go in by myself and then I can go in with them. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of multiplayer games at the moment. So I have got a scary game as well, which is surprising. But I can't really play it at the moment with the laptop that I'm using. But it's called The Forest, which you might know. I don't know. But there's cannibals. There's cannibals, so they come and eat you. So you have to be careful of them, and they just appear out of nowhere. But that's been fun. I only play it when I'm playing with my friends. So yeah.
I've never been much of a gamer. I think the earliest game I remember is Prince of Persia. We had this desktop which did not even have Windows on it, or maybe it had, but like a primitive Windows 3.1, which didn't require a mouse. But it was a computer that ran on MS-DOS. And I remember, it was a black and white monitor. And my mom would allow me to play like an hour or so. The only thing that you could use it was like a 2D. Have you seen the gameplay of Prince of Persia, the 1993 one?
No, but I used to play Sonic on my dad's old Sega thingy.
Okay.
So
you know those 2D kind of games. And the only thing you can control is right, left, but up and down, and then jump exactly. And then Road Rash, which is actually like a racing game. And then of course, once I got into my love of cricket, and I started playing Cricket Captain, and that was pretty much the end of. And once mobile and Android came into
Hogwarts Mystery.
Hogwarts Mystery for a few months, and then similar to that, there was another Dragon Mania, whatever that is. So I played that for a couple of times, and then I realized that I get too addicted to it. I think I spent upwards of 200 hours on it, and then so I was reminded of it when you mentioned that you spent 500 hours on playing RAF, and that is what I wanted to ask you. And I think this is something that both of us have, and once we get into something, we pursue it with a lot of intensity. I think we put in a lot of work and almost put everything into it. I've seen you do that firsthand with L42, and more recently when I saw you set up a Discord server in real time. But my point is, I like that about myself, and of course I'll extend that to you, and this is like a quality, but then it can also be a reason it can also be counted as a negative personality trait as well, because it can sometimes be perceived as when you're a perfectionist kind of nature, when you want everything to be just right, and you won't take anything lower than that, and you just won't let go. It's hard to do that, So are there any examples outside of gaming or HIH and where you saw yourself go through this, and then you realize that no, I need to take a step back because it's harming me, or on the other hand, it actually helped you in your growth or whatever? Are there any other examples like that?
I mean, some of my assignments, I have struggled with the whole 50% is normal and it's okay. I have struggled with that in the past year and a bit, because that's not how it was growing up. Growing up, you had to strive for the 100.
Exactly,
So I guess my perfectionism, in a way, it's not really that, but I guess similar to it, just trying to get that high score by going through it, reading over it and over it again. So that's a bit of a struggle.
I'll give you an example from my own, but this is like a very tiny example. Back when I was in, I think it was in 6th standard, my mom always keeps reminding me of it whenever she always told me about this one instance. This was like a Sunday, and maybe I had my math exam sometime during the week that followed. She says that I spent the entire day doing every problem in my math book, and she had to practically tell me to go outside and play with my friends. Why I'm pointing this out is because I was never much of a very studious kind of guy, where like I would sit to study out of my own volition. Somebody had to tell me what to do. Most of the time it was my mom. She would tell me to now it's your time, you need to study. And she tells me this because she was pointing at the focus that I had that day. Once I started doing it and I enjoyed doing it, I just didn't want to let go. Like, I didn't want to stop doing it, even though it's studying, which is basically what most kids don't want to do. And the fact that I preferred that over going outside and playing cricket.
Actually, that is reminding me of a lot of things now, thinking about it. When I was younger, I was obsessed, and I guess I still kind of am obsessed with the X-Men movies, to the point that I actually was banned from watching them because I would watch them over and over and over again.
Okay.
And then like I always do like little silly things where like if I'm writing with a pen and I always have to put the pen lid on top of it. But if a pen has, all right, so if I have a pen that has this thing.
Okay.
When I always have to line it up with
me too. Oh my god.
But yeah, no, that's kind of an obsession that I have to have it done. And then
I'm sure there are more than that. I mean, that's not the only one.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Definitely, because I do the exact same thing as well. Even I think I would say like when you're walking, you have to step on certain tiles or maybe.
So there's another like sort of obsession thing where if somebody ends something like with I will just focus on that instead of what I'm meant to be focusing on.
Yeah. These are the kind of things that don't qualify exactly as OCD. It's not exactly that extreme. These tiny little things that it bothers you, but it does not actually harm you in any way. So, and those are the worst kind actually, because it's like you can't even whine about it to people because they won't understand.
No.
They won't take it seriously. Exactly. This is what I feel. It's so irritating because it means a lot to you, but then others find it they find it funny, or really it's very annoying for me. Do you also do with the same with numbers? The volume has to be a certain level on the remote or on the stereo in your car.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I'm a lot better than some other people. Like most people do it in even number. I will do even and in multiples of 5.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to like readjust. So definitely with numbers.
With objects as well. Sometimes there are stuff that you own that you want in a certain order. Until you get that right, you won't go on to the next task.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So relatable.
Yeah, when I'm drawing, if I make one little mistake, I will look at it and either I throw it out and start again, or it pisses me off.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Totally.
But I was happy with the rest of it, so I'm like, I'm gonna ignore it because I like the overall look of it. I like finding patterns in things, all sorts of things. I guess, for example,
I get you.
Looking at my storage, not all of them have a basket in it. So the ones that don't have baskets, I make sure that it's still like a pattern.
The other thing that I have observed about people like us is our surrounding. For the, like you mentioned that you have to have things in a certain order, but for the qualities that we possess, we can be really messy because I feel, and that I think is a direct reflection of our state of mind, because when you are not in the right frame of mind, you just tend to just give up, right? You just stop caring, and that's when things start going, just spirals out of control, and you go from everything being in an order, and the next moment it's all over the place. So there's no middle ground.
It's definitely hard because I do have, so I've got the lucky draw of anxiety and depression. So my anxiety means that my brain is running 1,000,000 kilometers a minute, and I'm constantly going, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. So I'm constantly swapping between tasks. And I've mentioned to you in the past, like if I'm trying to clean, I'll pick something up and I'll go, oh my God, remember this. And I'm just, then for the next 5 minutes, I'm going, oh my God, this happened and that happened. And this is why I've got this. And then on the opposite end of my depression, I'll just lay in bed for days and I'm not motivated to do anything, and there's no motivation to like do anything at all compared to my anxiety. So I do have that brain where one it's going too fast and the other it's just not going at all. And I think that definitely does not help my situation. I
am going through that situation right now, so that is why I brought that up. I'm going to circle back to the numbers, and I think you know where I'm going with this.
42, 42, yeah, 42. We're talking about 42, yes. So that's a big number for me.
Okay.
Because obviously the league of 42. Actually, no, a screenshot. I don't have my watch on at the moment, and I don't take my phone really out of my room. And so I must have used it this morning, and I go to look on my phone and it shows me 42 steps. So I took a screenshot of it and I was going to send it to you. But yeah, I find 42 a lot these days.
Yeah. It's. I think it is because of the qualities of we discussed that we are able to, even if we don't go looking out, the patterns, you just notice them, and then you try and convince yourself that you are seeing 42 everywhere.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but when in fact that's not actually the case. You're seeing other numbers as well, but you're only picking out the numbers that you want to see. But since this episode is number 23, I want to talk about that. How
is it actually going to be number 23? Are you going to get through it? Oh man!
This is number 23, and it's coming out in September.
Yes. It's September now, yeah.
Which is now, yeah. It's crazy that 22 episodes have come out.
I know, right? You're doing so well at it as well.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Look how much you've improved.
I was still on 42 subscribers back in April.
I know, and that's what I love the most about this number.
Yeah, and I'm still stuck on 42. But okay, do you remember how did this association with UN23 come about?
I can't remember. I'm sure you brought it up. I think you brought it up because then I was going through the Facebook group and you had posted like 5 photos of 23.
Yeah, I actually wrote it down. Yeah. Even I saw those pictures as well. They're very detailed. As in, I've written out everything that people have associated with 23. 23 is like, there are actually people out there who are very obsessed with the number. Like us, they see 23 everywhere, and they kind of it's crazy to think of it. And when you read those facts, you tend to you're almost convinced to a point. I am, at least. And since then you've been seeing 23 everywhere as well.
Yes, because of you. I blame you. Sorry, speaking of 23, we're not the only ones that do this, because with COVID-19, somebody did like all the numbers, and COVID somehow equals 23.
Really?
And then they put 2319, which is a Monsters Inc. reference. But yeah, COVID equals 23 somehow.
Go ahead. Tell yourself it's just a number.
Wake up. Emily. Wake up.